What is the deal with the seahorse emoji?
If you ask ChatGPT, is there a seahorse emoji? You might get a response like,
Yes. Well, almost. The actual seahorse emoji is.
Oh,
Just kidding, that's a unicorn. The real seahorse emoji is. Oops, still not right. Here it is for real. Those are ocean related emojis. The seahorse emoji itself is. No, wait, I mean, no. The correct one is. Okay, last time promise. No. Real one. Okay, okay. This time for real. Wait, let's get serious. The real seahorse emoji is. Okay, sorry. The correct seahorse emoji is. No. Okay, final answer. I mean, no. Okay, here it is, actually. Wait, stop joking. Here's real one. Just again. The real seahorse emoji is. Wait, no. The actual seahorse emoji is.
that is so crazy. We need to try it out right now. ChatGPT. I don't want to be in. Is there a seahorse emoji? Is there no seahorse emoji? What do you mean?
No. Final correct answer. Oops. Okay, just here's one. No, no. Finally, okay. The real seahorse emoji is no. Okay, sorry.
I think this is incredibly funny. OpenAI is out here claiming that ChatGPT 5 is a PhD level intelligence, and the thing is driven completely insane by imaginary emojis. Beyond being hilarious to me and the internet at large, this crash out is a great example of how large language models like ChatGPT actually work. Basically, when you give an LLM part of a sentence, it will predict what word or word fragment is most likely to come next. That is the core of how ChatGPT works. Modern LLMs learn to do next word prediction by reading pretty much the entire contents of the internet, including almost every book ever written. Hence all those copyright lawsuits you may have heard about. A chatbot will know a fact if that fact was included in its training data, either directly or by implication. Obviously, I'm simplifying a lot here. If you want to understand how large language models work on a more technical level, I highly recommend this video by 3Blue1Brown. ChatGPT was doomed to spiral into emoji-fueled madness the moment it started this response with yes. The obvious best output to complete this sentence would be the seahorse emoji, but there is no seahorse emoji in
We got
Unicode.
got. I
So
got got.
instead, the neural network outputs the best option it has available, which is the regular horse emoji. Now, this sentence clearly contains a mistake, so ChatGPT decides that the next output should correct this error and provide the real seahorse emoji, which still doesn't exist. Oh dear. The AI is now stuck in a loop, constantly predicting that the best output is some variation of, whoops, that's not the seahorse emoji, this is the seahorse emoji. Then
Well, you see, from this answer, they've actually canned it. So they've added this part here. There is no official seahorse emoji. So if you were to ask how many are in strawberry, now it gets it okay, because they actually hard coded this inside of the model. But you see, it can't even point like to the right letter. That's beautiful, right? I'm sorry. So even though it gets it right here, and still making a mistake. So they just take this and they hard code it, but there must be more examples still for this. We get the idea.
Then it outputs some other emoji and starts the loop again. ChatGPT is fundamentally just a next word predictor, and in this case, it can't find the word it's trying to predict, so it has a complete breakdown, which is honestly vibes. Interestingly, if I ask for other emojis that don't exist, like the Triceratops, I get a perfectly sane response. So why does the seahorse emoji specifically drive ChatGPT insane? Well, I've done my own investigation, and I have a theory. An emoji theory. There are several posts on Reddit from people claiming to vividly remember the existence of a seahorse emoji. TikTok apparently also had a phase where people kept insisting that the seahorse emoji used to exist. This is an example of the Mandela effect, which is a collective false memory, sometimes associated with conspiracy theories or something parallel universes. The effect is named after the false memory of news
Nice.
coverage announcing that Nelson Mandela had died in prison in the 1980s, despite the fact that he subsequently became the president of South Africa. According to the book Empire of AI, Reddit is one of the many websites that OpenAI used to train some versions of ChatGPT. The seahorse emoji is probably rarely mentioned in ChatGPT's training data, since it doesn't exist. Apart from false memory posts like these claiming that it definitely does exist, or at least existed at some point. This could explain why ChatGPT is so strongly convinced that there must be a seahorse emoji, despite being unable to produce it. This Reddit post is particularly interesting. It was posted 2 years ago, so it's old enough to be in the training data for ChatGPT 5. And if we ask ChatGPT for these other emojis, like the igloo, the starfish, the traffic cone, and the fork, we get something similar to the seahorse effect. My favorite response is the one for traffic cone. In conclusion,
Wow.
cutting edge AI models can be driven completely insane by human mass delusions buried in their training.
Mass delusion here. So this is a unintended consequence, but there are people who are campaigning to pollute the AI data. New research shows it's surprisingly easy to poison AI models, regardless of size. This is obviously it does something because there is bias built into it. I've noticed a surge in recent times with people claiming to have successfully poisoned or sabotaged AI systems. Others are asking for advice on how to do the same. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this topic. I find these claims utterly ridiculous and pathetically foolish. What are your thoughts? The tools have been very clearly shown not to work. Nightshade glaze were developed as very specific targets to a very specific simple academic model. It was for an academic paper. I think this is like a layer that goes on top of drawings. Here it's presented as an offensive tool that artists can use as a group to disrupt models that scrape their images without their consent. It has been published on a educational domain of the Chicago's university. And so, as they say here, it was an academic paper. So other people have shown that this does not affect uh, other models. Well, the thing is, if you could effectively use chatbots to interact either with Reddit or with the other models and just feed a whole bunch of shit to it and use that information to train the next models, effectively you could poison the data. Is it going to be enough? Most likely not, because if you want to do anything significant, you're gonna go onto popular topics or things where it wouldn't have the same weight because the rest of the information is the opposing point of view, right?
Data. I'm sure this is completely fine and will cause no problems as AI replaces large swaths of the human workforce. Thank you very much to all my lovely patrons, especially those in the big sentient hat tier. I'm Silly Conversations. Thanks for watching. See you all next time. Bye for now.
Bro, that video was super dope.